Okay, so I'm going to talk about how I'm using ChatGPT and Perplexity AI, but the GPT-4 access on Perplexity AI since I don't have GPT-4 access on ChatGPT. I'm using those to create a middle school course, and the middle school course is based off this middle school biology NGSS aligned science that Khan Academy put out maybe 9 months ago. I love Khan Academy's material. I love their site, and I use it a lot for practice. But it is I'm a math teacher normally, and in math, it's not actually that great at teaching the concepts. It's a really great platform for practice once the kids have been introduced to the concepts. But it's not really that great for them learning new concepts. For me, it's always been really good to review concepts. I'm getting ready to do an exam or something for a teacher licensure or something like that. Then it's good for me to go back over some math concepts I haven't used in 5 or 10 years and refresh on them. But again, not really that great for like driving new knowledge, I think. Not near, it hasn't been effective for me at that at all. So, so what I want to do is I want to use GPT to take this course and then create a more teachable portion aligned directly to that. Because one of my problems with Khan Academy is I always have to kind of piece everything together depending on what my course is. So here I'm going to try to create a series of courses, but this is my first try here. So this is a middle school biology NGSS Khan Academy companion course on CK12. And you can see I've recreated all of the units and all of the lessons that are in Khan Academy. And I did this before I actually started creating it. So there are quite a few of these where I'm going to have to split them up into two parts because you'll see later. But but basically, yeah. So I'm going to take some ideas from there. I've taken the scope and sequence from there, and then for each of for each of these lessons, you can see up over here, this one says Unit 1, Lesson 1, Cells and Organisms. There's a little, what do they call it, article. There's a little article that they have. And the only thing in the article is key points. So when I first found this out, my thought was I can take those key points and I can use those to write some new content. And I was thinking of this last year when it came out. However, writing new content is extremely time consuming, especially technical stuff. So then ChatGPT came around and I tried it out and it was kind of okay, but not that great. But now that GPT-4 has come out, you can see that's the reason I've got this graphic up is these little green dots are the ChatGPT 3.5 that I was originally trying to use for this subject, and then the blue dots are GPT-4. So you can see that it's always been really good at evidence-based reading and writing, summaries and things like that. So in a lot of ways, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm taking these key points, I'm going to feed it these key points, and I'm going to ask it to do some stuff with that. But you can see biology, which this first course is life science. They call it biology too, actually. Normally in middle school, it's called life science. Has moved from 62nd percentile to the 85th percentile of people taking biology advanced placement stuff. So it's pretty on the spot with regard to biology. And when I get up to chemistry and physics, you can see the 3.5 has moved up in both cases. So it's got a much better understanding. Let's use the word understanding. Can we go with that? Is that okay? Much better understanding of the sciences than at GPT-4 than it did at GPT 3.5. So So I've taken this whole scope and sequence here, and you can see the scope and sequence here goes 9 units, and each one of these is a little lesson, and then I've duplicated the structure of that. It's going to be the numbers over here on 6 are going to be a little bit different because so I have an introduction, which will include some of the additional outside material, I guess, that I intend to use, and I've started to develop. So my next step was to create a Trello here, and so for each unit, I created a checklist of things that I needed to do, and you can see I've created for each of the units, I've created each one of the lessons, and some of the lessons. Let's see if I can find one here. None of those. Well, this is not good. I think 8 has a bunch. Yeah, okay, so here. So Unit 8, Lesson 1, Evolution and Common Ancestry, Part 1. And then down here I have Part 2. So I'll have to split this lesson into 2 parts. And the reason I have to do that is because for each of these I've come and taken and pasted in the key points from Khan Academy. And in this lesson, they have 2 articles, each with key points. This one is on evolution, and then this one is on also evolution, I guess, but common ancestors, evolutionary trees, and such. So they decided to break it up. So I'm going to break it up as well, because we're going to break it up with videos. And so for each of these, I have a checklist, and you can see that when I open this up, for this one, I've done a good bit of the checklist already, so I'm going to show you what's going on. Still kind of working with CK12, trying to figure that out. So the first thing that I do is I go into ChatGPT, and I put in those key takeaways, and then I ask it to give me a set of NGSS standards and learning objectives for that. And there's the output. I'll tell you what. So here's my list of assets and stuff. So you can see I've tried to get my prompts in here once I get them working. So standards and objectives. You are an expert science curriculum creator. We are going to develop a textbook section titled Unit 1, Lesson 1, Cells and Organisms in a textbook called Middle School Biology. Please use the following key points of this section to identify the NGSS standards and our kid-friendly learning objectives. Here are the key points of the section. And then I paste those key points after, and ChatGPT will give me something like this. I played around with this kind of thing for the last 4 months or so, trying to figure out how to make it work. And I think I've gotten a way that works pretty well. So I've got some learning objectives here. But the next thing I do is I go over to, I take these NGSS standards and learning objectives, and I go over to Perplexity AI, and Perplexity AI has this little toggle over here where you can use GPT-4. Sorry, not ChatGPT-4. GPT-4, which is significantly better at this kind of writing. So I put that in. They have a very limited text entry, so sometimes I have to edit down the standards and objectives just a little bit. And I ask it to write a 750 or 1,000 word article on this, and it normally doesn't give me that much. I think this one is something like 850 words or something. I think I asked for 1,000. I think it gave me 850. But you can see it gives me a nice little article. So then from there, I take this article, and we're using basically the same kind of prompt in here for the article. You're an expert science curriculum creator, blah, 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 blah. Write a 750-word article written for 6th grade students, because this course is targeted towards 6th grade students. And, that GPT-4 will produce a much higher quality article than ChatGPT at 3.5 will. So then my next step that I do is, I go all the way down here at the bottom. Got the article. So now I want to take the article and create notes using that. So I ask it to, these are actually output as a table in Cornell style notes. Couldn't think of that word for a second. Cornell style notes. So do that, and there's no additional work that I do on that. After that, I ask for vocabulary and kid-friendly definitions in a table form, also from ChatGPT using the article. So basically, I have the same kind of prompt. You are a blah, 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 and we're going to write blah, blah, blah. I need a list of vocabulary words from this article, and here they are. I asked for 10. So then with those, I have created a memorize. I'm going to reload this now. I have created a memorize course for this with 9 different units, and then for each of the units, I add in the vocabulary here. I'll add in audio, etc. I've also gone into, not the right one. I've created a folder. It's class. Okay, I've created a middle school biology folder, and in this folder, I'll create flashcard practice for the kids. They can do matching, and then I thought I could embed this into CK12, which is one of the reasons why I did it. I thought I could embed the matching activity after the list of vocabulary, but CK12 doesn't appear to have an embed anymore. So you can see I've got including pictures up in here. So, I have one of these for each of the lessons. What was I at here? Okay, so we take those. We also have a set of multiple choice questions, which I input the article again with the same kind of prompt. I use that to create a quizzes practice set here, so students can practice with that. We have a set of open-ended questions with questions and answers here. I put just the questions at the end of the article in CK12, and I also create a Quizlet flashcard set with these. We source pictures. Mostly I'm trying to source pictures from Wikimedia. Since it's science, this should all be really easy to get. You can see. Oh no, this one didn't come up. Not sure why. Oh, because it's an SVG. So then I'll be able to source those. They're all Creative Commons or public domain or something like that. And finally, I'm taking the videos that Khan is using, and I am using this YouTube and article summary powered by ChatGPT to. It simply opens that video, so I paste that video in here, and it summarizes that video in bullet points. So one, I can see to make sure that what's in the video is aligned to what the course is about. But I actually also intend to have that video, and then I use this to create some close notes for the students to take while they do this video, while they listen to this video, to keep them more engaged. So you can see, so I've finished quite a bit here. I haven't added this stuff to CK12 practice because I haven't figured out how to import really easily. I think they want me to add questions one by one, which I don't want to do. I have actually added all this stuff. That one's done. Okay, so CK12 also has things like Plix. As I said, I'm going to add the Khan Academy video into each lesson, and then link to the Khan Academy practice. So these are my to-dos for each of the lessons. With the split, there's going to end up being something like 36 lessons, and each one of these, even with ChatGPT helping me, is going to take me a couple of hours, including format, maybe 3 hours. So I'm talking about maybe 2 months of evening work here. But I think it's going to be an interesting project and possibly useful for other people, and certainly useful for me if I ever have to teach kids using this content. Once I get better at it, I'll get faster at it. But, there's kind of an unlimited amount of stuff that I can do with Khan Academy as the backbone for this, the really well-aligned courses that they have. So that's the overview, what I'm doing with this right now.